Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Aquarius, and thank you for coming back to my channel. I like to talk about esoteric knowledge, and if you're new here, my name is Aquarius. I actually want to teach about esoteric information. It's very simple. I uploaded my previous videos. They're about 6 minutes, 7 minutes long, so they're pretty easy to digest. So if you've been following about me, just quick overview, we kind of figured out that based on the cycles, that there is something going on with the human consciousness where we basically lose our consciousness, and with it's either the shadow or ignorance or society, but there is a cycle where we lose our consciousness for a little bit. And when we lose our consciousness, we lose our conscious mind, which is the masculine, which is active, which is assertive, which is logical, which is intellectual, and the feminine mind, which is subconscious, which is receptive, which takes in information. So this is active, this is receptive. Now remember, when you're dealing with duality, when you're dealing with spirituality, there's always going to be duality. And you need duality because duality is what defines something. For example, you won't know what good is unless you have bad. If you only had good, it would just be. So when you understand that there's duality, you understand that the human experience is taking the spirit, which is infinite, and making it finite. And why is it making it finite? Is so it can have limitations. In that limitations, we can understand ourselves through duality. So that's why you'll have like the Old Testament versus the New Testament. You have yin versus yang. You have female versus masculine. You have, active versus receptive. And so that's when we're dealing with teach spiritual information. There should always be some form of duality because that's how you define what something is. If there's no duality, you can't define it. So when you understand that, you will understand that we're kind of figuring out ourselves. And in the human consciousness, we have the consciousness, the masculine and the female consciousness, and we also have the shadow. Now, the shadow is a concept that gets introduced to our spirituality because it's a part of us when we lose our consciousness. So based on the cycles, it looks like that we come fully aware, which would be associated with the age of Aquarius, when our consciousness is fully aware and we're using our full potential. That's when they talk about the Christ consciousness, the return of the Christ, return of the gods. That's where the Christ consciousness, and that's associated with the age of Aquarius. Now, before that, you have the age of iron. Now, this age is not only understood in one spirituality, it's understood in Greek, it's understood also like in Hindu with the Kali Yuga and things of that nature. So when you understand that, okay, we lose our consciousness, so how do we get wisdom? So unfortunately, the only way we can get wisdom is if our consciousness is gone based on the cycles and our female consciousness is gone. The only way we can regenerate consciousness is through accessing our subconscious mind, because that is where we have our innate memory bank from our ancestral DNA. So we have to go not to the masculine, but we have to go through the back door, which I believe they call Da'at in Kabbalah, and we have to go through the feminine mind to access, and then she will generate the masculine mind, and then you can have a full functioning mind. So that's when you're dealing with esoteric. You have a lot of symbolism because they need to talk to the subconscious mind. So that's why I wanted to show you guys some symbolisms, because you guys, the conscious mind can't understand words. So the subconscious mind for tarot, I like tarot because it's universal. This is basically the high priestess, and this is your subconscious mind. You see she has the book of knowledge, the wisdom, and then she has duality because she sits between the consciousness of the masculine and the female consciousness. She has her crown chakra awakened so she can receive the information from the upper worlds, and she has the moon on the bottom of her feet because she's in control of her emotions. And the water right here is water because the water element connected with the subconscious. The water element is connected to the subconscious. So this is a subconscious awakened, in control of her emotions, which is the moon, and she's in between this. So here's just some simple understanding. So this is the subconscious. This is the subconscious, the devil, under the control of sin or the shadow. Of course, the shadow is aspects of herself, so it's not necessarily bad. It's just untransformed, unacknowledged aspects of herself. So when she falls victim to her shadow, she becomes enslaved to the holographic universe. So that's the conscious and the subconscious being enslaved to the shadow. And this is a pentagram, which is basically the 5 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, with spirit. The spirit is upside down, which is looking down, because the 4 elements, earth, wind, and fire, which is the material world, is in control of the spirit. So therefore, the elements are over the spirit, so the devil is in control. Now, if we do, once the devil is transformed, he returns an angel. So this is the angel. And here are the levers. Here's a conscious and the subconscious fully awakened. And you see the woman who is the subconscious is receiving information from the upper world, or you can say that is God or Allah or whatever, but that's the subconscious fully awakened. They're both taking guidance from the sun, which is the upper world. And she's the moon, so she reflects the sun of the moon. Here you can see the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, and that's Adam and Eve, but that's usually your conscious and your subconscious. This is your subconscious free. This is when your subconscious is completely free and awake and protected and is in, her full glory, completely activated. This is when you are balancing the left and right hemisphere, the temperance. The feet is in the water, meaning the representation. You can see the sun in the back. So this is like the alchemical process of transmuting the body. Every time you see a cup, this is water, the Holy Spirit coming into the water. That's basically what that represents. This is the star, which is associated with Aquarius, which is the age of awakening. So before, I have a little breakdown for the age of Aquarius for you guys, because remember, we're talking about cycles, and because we don't have our consciousness, we have to depend on cycles, and with cycles we can understand what is to come. So let me go ahead and show you. I asked ChatGPT, but since I'm running out of time, I'm just gonna play it for you guys. What is the age of Aquarius?
Absolutely. The age of Aquarius is often seen as part of a larger cycle, marking a transition from the old age, often associated with structures, authority, and power, to a time of awakening, unity, and enlightenment. This idea aligns with ancient beliefs about the cycles of ages, often referred to as the Iron Age, Bronze Age, Silver Age, and Golden Age. Each age is thought to represent a different level of consciousness, energy, and societal structure. According to many spiritual traditions, we're now at the tail end of the Iron Age, sometimes called the Kali Yuga in Hindu cosmology. This age represents a time of materialism, struggle, and imbalance, where humanity often loses touch with spirituality and the deeper connection to each other. However, as we move through the age of Aquarius, there's a belief that we're transitioning into a golden age, or a time of higher consciousness. This means people are starting to awaken to their spiritual truths, inner powers, and a deeper understanding of unity and love. In these cycles, each age isn't just a period in history, it's a state of consciousness. The Golden Age is marked by a return to the core principles of love, wisdom, and harmony, where people live in alignment with their higher selves and a greater universal understanding. This idea of a shift from the Iron Age to the Golden Age reflects a transformation happening on a global scale, where humanity is being called to move from a state of separation and fear to one of unity and enlightenment. The Age of Aquarius symbolizes that transition, often associated with technology, innovation, community, and a breakdown of old structures that no longer serve us.
So it goes on, but as you can see there, based on the cycles, it looks like with the age of Aquarius that's coming in, or the Golden Age, there's going to be a lot more spiritual awakening, and I think that's what's happening right now. So for the symbolism, real quick, is that the symbol of Aquarius is the water barrier, often depicted as a figure holding a vessel from which water, or sometimes light, is poured. Water represents a flow of ideas, knowledge, and energy, key aspects of the Aquarian ethos. This symbol can also put to the need of nourish and share wisdom for the collective good, as water is a vital force. So that's my video. Hope you like it. Peace.